Okay, so on to the next track in Sammy's Kicks and Flats Addict series, man. The very first track we did was Metallica. This is now Metallica, and this is called the Unforgiven 2. The first one is called the Unforgiven. This is Unforgiven 2, and apparently there's an Unforgiven 3 as well that's coming straight after this one. So this is going to be quite interesting. So this is obviously a trilogy. You guys... if you're only joining now, I would suggest you go back and just listen to it from the very beginning, because this series is going to be pretty sick. And yeah, let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what we've got over here for those of you who are interested in this custom series product. The link is down in the pinned comment as well, man. Metallica, Unforgiven 2. Let's see what we got. Guitar playing though.
Lay beside me, tell me what they've done, and speak the words I wanna hear, to make my demons run. The door is locked now, but it's open if you're true. If you can understand me.
Very important line. It's like the door is locked now, but it's open if you're true. So it's open. The only way you can open the door, the only way that you can free yourself is by the truth. The truth will set you free all of the time, right? If we engage in delusion and we engage in non-realities, right, you will be stuck in misery the entire time. Even though you might convince yourself that you're not miserable, you are miserable. You try and convince, and you'll know that by what you chase, by chasing these cheap happinesses. When you elevate temptations and decadences above the soul, you're going to land up in a space of misery. And you can try and convince yourself that you're not. The only thing that is going to set you free is the truth. And the truth at times hurts, and it hurts painfully. But when you accept it and you deal with it and you pick up those burdens off the floor, that is when you eventually achieve a state of peace in your existence. Let's go.
If you can understand me, then I can understand the you.
Loving the guitar playing though.
Lay beside me under wicked sky, through black of day, dark of night. We share this paralyzed. The door cracks open, but there's no sun shining through. Like hot scarring darker steel, but there's no sun shining through. No, there's no sun shining through. No, there's no sun shining. What I feel, what I've known.
I like that over there, like the door is cracked open, but there's no sun shining through, because it's all entirely your perspective, right? It's all what is in your own mind, essentially. So you're fighting with those demons, right? I've said this before. You can't control anything in the world. You can't even control your own health. You can't control the ticker that keeps you alive. You can't even control your heart. Your heart could stop beating right now. You can't even control that. But what you can control is you can control your mind. Therefore, you can control the world that you live in, right? Because it's purely down to your mental capacity. So if your mental capacity is completely, you might have these breakthroughs, but if you allow yourself to remain within that demonic space that you've created with all the demons in there, and you don't let that go, and you don't deal with that, it doesn't matter if the door feels open, there's still not going to be any light, right? You can move around from space to space to space. It doesn't actually matter. You can't run away from yourself. And usually the most scary, the most daunting demons to overcome are your own demons, right? It's who you really are, right? Is accepting that the person 6 inches from the mirror is something that you know that is nowhere near its capability, and you completely and utterly detest that person, right? Those are your demons. So even though it may seem like all these different doors open, this is basically what people do, is like, no, I'm not happy here in this space and time. I'm not happy in where I'm living. I need change. I need to move city. I need to do this. It doesn't matter. If you're not happy with yourself, you can open any doors you want, right? You're still going to see darkness. There's still going to be no light, because you're not dealing with the real problem, which is literally your own psychological state.
Turn the pages, turn the stone behind the door. Should I open it for you? Yeah, what I felt, what I've known. Sick and tired, I'm staying alone. Could you be there? 'Cause I'm the one who waits for you. Or are you unforgiven too?
See what he said over there? Says that I'm the one that'll open the door for you, but are you going to run away from me too? Which basically means that you're running away from yourself.
Come lay beside me. This won't hurt, I swear. She loves me not, she loves me still, but she'll never love again. She made me
love that. So he likes the idea of love. The game we used to play with the, what was it, with the daisies or whatever it was, with the pedals. She loves me last, she loves me not, she loves me still, she loves me not, she loves me still. It's fire. So he actually is quite he's quite infatuated with the idea of love, right? That he's playing that game, but at the end of the day, he just won't experience love because he won't allow love to come in. So it's almost like he's consistently gambling his emotional feelings for people and possibly himself. I'm not entirely sure.
But she'll never love again. She lay beside me, but she'll be there when I'm gone, like hot scarring darker steel. Yeah, she'll be there when I'm gone. Yeah, she'll be there when I'm gone. Dead sure she'll be there. What I feel, what I've known. Turn the pages, turn the stone behind the door. Should I open it for you?
Instrumentation's fire though, let's be real. Their instrumentation's absolutely fire. That guitar is so prominent, right? And it's got such a Metallica feel though, right? Across the board you can hear that guitar is Metallica. Come on, man.
Beside me, tell me what I've done. The door is closed, so are your eyes. But now I see the sun. Now I see see the sun. Yes, now I see it.
I'm not entirely sure if this actually has anything to do from a religious sense in terms of scripture. In terms of like, okay, he had all of these demons and then he found himself turning to, because there was the book over there, you don't really know what book that is. And I mean, I could be completely wrong. But he found some peace and he found a way to deal with his demons by turning to a faith of sorts. And then within the faith, like when he enters that book and the book closes and all the dark black crows like sort of exit the book, it's almost like the demons are being released. And then while he's in there, it's like a furnace, like it's like a inferno where these flames are coming out and it's kind of like absolving him of these demons. And then he comes out of there, so he still has that mountain to climb, but that and he has that wall to get over, but that wall to get over is being represented as the scriptures. It's actually being represented as a book of sorts. I'm not entirely sure why it would be anything else other than a biblical notion. I don't know. But again, after all of that, it starts speaking about how he's seeing the light, and in the video it changes where he can actually see over that stone. It's almost like he can get past the darkness after that entire ordeal. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's got to do with scripture or belief or faith of sorts that he turned to, that eventually cleansed his soul. Anyway, let's carry on.
Turn the pages, turn the stone behind the door. Should I open it for you? Yeah, what I feel, what I've known. So sick and tired, I'm staying alone. Could you be there? 'Cause I'm the one who waits, the one who waits for you. Oh, what I feel, what I've known. Turn the page.
So I've heard him refer to she, you lie about me. And I don't, also, this could be very much like a relationship type song. So I don't entirely, I think it might be a relationship with a partner that he possibly lost. And that's what's been haunting him. And that's the demonic side that's coming out. And it's like he's now standing there and now he's got a fist like straight through her abdomen. So again, I'm not entirely sure who he's speaking about over here. And again, it kind of almost feels like he himself, in terms of his psychological space, even in the first song and the second song, it feels like he hasn't been absolved. He hasn't been absolved of his sins. He hasn't been absolved of his pain to a certain degree. And that's why it's called the Unforgiven. It's the Unforgiven 2, and then there's the Unforgiven 3 that's coming apparently. So, yeah, very interesting song.
Turn the stone behind the door. Should I open it for you? Oh, what I feel. Oh, what I know. I take this key and I bury it in you, because you're unforgiven too. Never been.
Clever. The first one was Unforgiven, where he is not forgiven, and then he's talking about his partner now, where it's like a give the key, because he had the key where he was dealing with himself, so he's trying to help her. He's actually taking the key and giving it to her, right? And it's almost like with his fist going through her abdomen, it's almost like an exorcism. It's almost like she's trying to take the demons out of her and saying, I'm giving you this key because, you know, I've gone through this trial and tribulation. This is the way I had to find myself. This is the key to the light. Right? He says, because you are unforgiven too, because he's actually seen and he can relate to her pain, he can relate to her suffering. So he just wants to help her because he loves her so dearly. Okay, now it makes sense. It's not like just Unforgiven 2, it's just like a second song. It's actually you're unforgiven too, it's about the other person. Clever. Clever, 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 clever.
Forgiven too. Never been. Never been. 'Cause you're unforgiven too.
And then he steps away. Fire! That was awesome. That little twist at the end there put everything into perspective, including the first part and second part. It's so clever, right? He's gone through his journey, now he's trying to help her go through her journey because, you know, they both feel unforgiven. Fire, 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 fire. Now I'm super intrigued on what the Unforgiven 3 is going to be about, right? No wordplay is there. Because you're Unforgiven 3. No, it can't be. Anyway, I actually love those two. I like music like this. I really, really do. Right? Specifically when it's attached with a music video and you got to think about it. I could watch it again and go into a whole different sort of analytical perspective about this. But anyway, let's leave it at that. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.